And welcome back to today's Retirees with Certified Financial Planner Wayne Maslick of Great Lakes Benefits and Wealth Management. On today's program, we are talking about 10 things to ponder before you retire. And Wayne put these together. By the way, Wayne, these are available in a newsletter. And if folks want to get your newsletter, they just need to go to todaysretirees.com, and there's a link there where they can sign up.
They could just click on and just fill out put their email or mailing address information, and we'll put them on the list. There's no charge, of course. Or they could call, the phone number and just request it.
All right.
No problem.
Use that phone number, 866-626-3990. Now, continuing on with 10 things to ponder before you retire, and you mentioned this earlier, is your estate in order?
Yeah, and sometimes people don't know what estate is, or they think, well, I'm not rich, so I don't have an estate. Everyone has an estate.
Mm-hmm.
It could be a car or a house and a car. But your estate is everything you own, including your valuables, jewelry, heirlooms, antiques, anything that's yours.
Mm-hmm.
You want to have all that in order. You want to have your wills, maybe a trust. You want to have power of attorney so people can make decisions for you if you can't.
Mm-hmm.
You want to have a living will. Do you want to be kept alive? Do you not want to be kept alive? All that is just basic estate planning.
Okay.
But you also have to take it to the next level if you have things like collector cars or guns or coins or stamps or something your daughter really cherishes, or maybe both your daughters cherish, right? Who gets it?
Sure.
You need to spell this stuff out so your family doesn't, fight, start, a new family feud once you're gone.
So it's not good enough just to tell one of the daughters you can have, the armoire that Granny left, and the other daughter you can have the one that Aunt Sally left.
Well, sure, if they both know that and they're both present,
Mm-hmm.
and they both agree, right? That's perfect.
Sure.
You want to share your wishes with them. It doesn't necessarily have to be in writing, but the more kids there are, the more people that aren't present when you have that talk,
Mm-hmm.
the more you should have things in writing.
Sure.
Make your decisions, go over it with the kids, and then share it with the kids.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure you're the one who's going to take care of your estate knows where things are. Make sure they know if you want to be buried or cremated or where that should be.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want a big, glamorous, funeral or casket or that? It's all not fun stuff to think about or talk about, but you got to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Don't leave your estate in pandemonium because you were too afraid or lazy to get this stuff in order.
Sure.
It's the adult thing to do.
Right. Well, I can see where, especially in this day and age when, families, split up and things like that, where the wishes that you gave 5 years ago, even though those may be your wishes, if a family has broken up, some things may change.
Oh, may change. They will change. Especially if your kids don't get along,
Mm-hmm.
or if the people that your kids married don't get along
Sure.
with the others,
Mm-hmm.
or you don't see someone for years. They move out west, or New York, or Florida, or whatever, and there's not a lot of communication anymore. And people forget.
Mm-hmm.
They might have forgot. Mom said we could have this, or.
Right.
And then there's grandchildren that come into play. And maybe, she did want daughter to have this nice set of earrings, but now that there's granddaughter there, she may want granddaughter to have them instead.
Right.
So you need to keep up on it. You need to think through things. You need to cover all bases. And working with someone like me, a certified financial planner, we make sure you do that.
Absolutely.
And then we remind you
Right.
every year, because we have periodic reviews,
Mm-hmm.
a couple times a year at least. I tell folks, did you get this done yet? Because I have it in my file that it needs done, and if they haven't, then I don't prod them,
Right.
but I remind them it still needs done.
And that is important. All right. The next one is, did you plan for long-term care?
Yeah, and this may be one of the most important items of all 10. Most folks leave this planning to the very end, and many times until it's too late. And, you have to sit with a planner and go through what options there are to plan for long-term care. And no, it's not just buy long-term care insurance. There's a handful of other options. We're not going to get into them today.
Mm-hmm.
But people need to imagine, okay, mom and dad are retired. They're getting up in years. Dad has a stroke. he needs to go to a facility. 30 days later, the bill starts. Every 30 days, they invoice, and the bill is going to be anywhere from $5,000 to $8,000, depending on the care dad needs. You know, let's average it out at $6,500. That has to come out from somewhere every month.
Sure.
$6,500. Now, if you don't have any money or not a lot, well, then dad will qualify for Medicaid pretty quickly. But if you have assets, and generally the most people that get hurt the most are someone that has a net worth of $250,000 to $750,000. That range right there.
Okay.
You know, the average retiree that's saved. You know, they should have somewhere between that. Most do. They had a 401k or pension rollover or whatever the case. Those people are going to be the ones affected.
Okay.
You know, $6,500 a month, you know, drains $200,000 pretty quick.
Yes, it does.
And leaves mom with nothing, leaves the kids with nothing. You know, most folks want to leave their family an inheritance. Long-term care costs eat inheritance up really quick.
Sure, absolutely. Well, that's why it's important, friends, for you to pick up that phone, 866-626-3990. Make an appointment and sit down with Wayne so he can go over these 10 things with you personally and find out where you stand getting ready for your retirement. Whether you're 55 or 65, he can still help you. 866-626-3990. We'll continue with 10 things to ponder before you retire when we get back.